Welcome everyone, this is Evelyn. I'm going to hit my Om tuner for you here if you want to hear some Om, being some nice grounding energy. Okay, take a deep breath. Go ahead and take a few more deep breaths while I'm talking. Sending lots of love and blessings out to you guys. Thank you for being here. Okay, some profound stuff came up again today. I had a little bit of contact with Jesus today. So we have some messages there as well. From my Metatron deck read and also my SIRIAN STARSEED deck read on the table. And I did a message of the day read today as well because I wanted a little bit more energy coming from my answers. And so here is the Metatron deck read. So 1 second. For those of you not familiar with this read, this is the underlying energy here. The bottom of the deck is here. These are underlying energies. First card out here, 12 cards down, and then three over here, 1, 2, 3, and then these 4 up here, and then these are like an extra addendum down here. So that's the order that the cards were pulled. We're going to pull, or roll the die rather, as well. It is the 30th today, March 30th, 2022. The 30 is the union energy. Sorry, I just knocked the table. The 30 is the union energy, and the day adds up to 39, which is the Knight of Cups. So very beautiful energy today, with the Knight of Cups being love, the action of being love, and the union energy of the home and union, or the 1-1, Oni Oni. Let's go ahead and roll the die, see what's coming up for the twins today. 6:08 on the clock. The lovers and the strength of the dance, the manifestation of dreams, just turned to 6:09. 6:09 is a Jersey area code, and New Jersey came up today in the read today. So that's very profound actually. And it was just 2:32 to 33 on the clock here, which is the 2 of the High Priestess, the 32 of the Journey, and the 33 of the Christ vibration. And again, for me, every year at this time when Easter starts coming up, I start getting the replays of the Garden of Gethsemane and then the cross and all that kind of stuff. So there are some messages about that coming up here. For the twin flames. And actually Jesus confirmed again his birthday for me. So if you want to hear that as well, that'll come up too. Twin flames. Okay, for this day, the 30th of March, we have the 69, which is the Ace of Pentacles. It's also Cancer energy. That Ace of Pentacles is all about, it's right here, it's reversed in the read here today. This read was done last night though. But that energy is all about an offer of time, money, and effort, or a new life. This can be saving for that new life as well. We have the 11 here of alignment, justice, truth, and balance, which is also Libra energy. So there's Cancer and Libra right there. And then we have the South Node here, which is in Scorpio, letting go of the Scorpio tendencies that are not serving you. Okay, and perhaps reflecting some of those wounds. And boy, did I have a purge after the movie I watched last night, because the movie was really beautiful but heart-wrenching at the same time. And yeah, I haven't had a purge like that in a while. But it was a really, I would still watch the movie again. It was a beautiful movie. It was, it'll come up in the read as I go. Let's see if I have the name of it. Actually, let me get, oh, it's called Love Like the Falling Petals. And it was so cool because the movie, when I finished, because I was doing some other stuff, I was up last night late, it was 2:07 right at the moment it finished. And when I looked to see how long the movie was, it was on 2:07 minutes. And that's a significant number for me as well. So, and it's also the 2 and the 7 of the 27 of the Ace of Wands, that third energy. So that was significant for you guys as well. So with this Metatron read, today on the 30th, this was from today. I just finished a little while ago actually with after the message of the day too. The 39 of the Knight of Cups and the home or the union. And also the tax man's coming up again because it's tax time. Again, Matthew is the tax man. And my son Matthew connects very much with the Sandalphon energy. When right after COVID started, and he was home with me for a while, we did a lot of wound work, and he was very connected to Sandalphon. So there's that energy between them, the play off of them, that kind of came up today. And actually, the name Matthew is coming up as well. And yeah, okay. So we start here at 10:37 to 38, which is the King and Queen of Cups. 10 is that Wheel of Fortune, destiny, that high vibration. And the underlying card was at the bottom of the deck was the Water card. Again, water, water, water is so important. You can't connect to the other side. You can't do any of this work really if you're dehydrated. So water is so important, whether it's drinking it, whether it's washing with it, whether it's swimming in it. Swimming in natural water is really grounding too. There's a message I was getting today too. So the first card out was the Passion card. That's the 25 of the Knight of Wands, right? Getting that passion going, a fire lit under your butt to perhaps get some physical things done or perhaps work out. And of course, it's passion as well. And colors, we have gold, pink, just making sure I didn't miss any. So gold, pink, silver, and orange. Okay, so actually very high vibrational with the gold and silver, and then just pink and orange, that was it. So we had the sacral energy along with the pink of compassion, then gold and silver. It's very profound, actually. And that's very much that energy of Mary Magdalene and Jesus, right? The gold energy of the Christ energy, and the silver of the feminine energy, which I've told you multiple times before, but for a while I was getting this a year or two ago, or even 3 years ago, where the masculine and feminine babies each come in with a different light color. It's like the feminines come in with the pink, with the gold, and the masculine babies come in with the green with the gold. And they learn the other energy from the opposite parent. So if they're missing the opposite parent, it's very significant wounding. But then when the mother gives birth, she gives her gold light to the child because that child comes first, right? Because they can't survive without the mother. And the mother doesn't get her gold light back. She becomes silver until she finds loving herself first again. It was very interesting when it was coming in, but I'm getting that same energy coming in now. So we start here in the underlying energies at 10:47, which is the wheel, and the 47 of the Seven of Cups, which is the card of choices and having a lot of options, but also can be confusing. But it's also heaven in your eyes and synchronicities. And the underlying energy of pausing, and then right away I was getting to come together right now over me. So I wasn't just getting that as a Beatles song, but it was coming up as God and Jesus talking to us, saying, pause to come together with us now. Healing and joy, peace and love, the healing hands of your higher self. And remember, your connection with Source is direct. You don't need to go through Jesus or anyone else to direct connect with Source. But of course, because of our teachings, it helps for Jesus and other masters to come through to help us learn how to connect through our direct higher self, our direct connect. So, healing hands of your higher self and your own unity consciousness from within to infinitum, that big gold cup of love. And then they're saying, sorry, Joe, like that cup of Joe. Not the cup of Joe, but that big gold cup of love. With a sudden event here, epiphany or sexual energy exchange, with love, water, 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 the vehicle of ascension. Blessing the water is blessing you, because you are water. Bless in your shower, when you drink, and when you swim. Love and gratitude for every day and everything, and the sun's rays. Natural, organic, phased array. Penetrating the waterways every day. Swim in clean water for a very grounding experience, especially the ocean. It's always moving, so it keeps it clean. Enjoy the ocean and constant movement of the sun and the water, the dolphin and the whale. All of those energies are part of the ocean, the energy source. And then in the water card is the icosahedron again. So the icosahedra is the I matter, and then hedra is literally ivy, or IV, continuous, like a vine. It continuously grows and clings. The IV, like continuous flow, and it also means honoring. So it's literally icosahedron is that I matter, that you are matter as humans, right? But we matter, and in an Ivy way of honoring yourself. And then the name Matthew came up. So there's lots of different definitions for Matt with one T and Matt with two T's, and then Chew. My son's nickname is Chew because he couldn't say Matthew when he was little. He said Machu, so we always nicknamed him Chew. But also all of it broken down. But one of the definitions for Matt, M-A-T, is sandy shore. So there's that Sandalphon reference. So that was coming up immediately since I connect Sandalphon to my son anyway. It's that very loving, creative masculine energy as opposed to the tough guy masculine energy. And so the way the name Matthew is coming up, there's a lot of negative ways, right? Because you can imagine, right? A mat is something you walk on. So there's those kind of connotations around the definitions. But Matthew comes up as that energy of one who instructs, and this is, again, is very much parallels with Sandalphon, or as I call him, Saint Dolphin. One who instructs on morals and values by example or by attractive attribute that they hold. But there's also suffering and that kind of thing that come up with some of the definitions. And then Dolphin was coming up, and Batista, which is so weird because I know my son resonates with that word. So it's so weird because he doesn't know it as in baptism. That means nothing to him. But the word fin, F-H-I-N, is the Batista, or that cloth that they wipe the child's head at a baptism with, which they consider cotton or linen. But it's also one who baptizes, or to beat or pound repeatedly, or whip, or to overcome, or to coin, which coin, C-O-I-N, is also Kohan. It's another way of spelling it. And for me, Kohan always comes up as the co-pilots of the twins. Another definition for doll in dolphin is the thole pin, which means to suffer, T-H-O-L-E. And then, of course, my pin comes up the P-I-N of the masculine feminine kind of fill-up tank, the gas tank. Oh, and by the way, it's still chilly here today. And in this read, a lot of cups, positive energy came up, and those same cups energies, the King of Cups, Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Cups came up today, but the Page of Cups is up right here too. So all the cups energy was really loving today. So anyway, the thole pin definition came up as the pin that holds the oars, like in a rowboat, which then allows movement of those things, whatever that it's holding. Also the word cupula, or cupula, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, came up. A solid formed by joining two polygons, one as the base, and then twice as many, the second one with twice as many edges as the other by alternating band of isosceles triangles and rectangles. Or in other words, a cap over another inverted cup or dome, something that covers a dome in the same shape. So the dome, the vault, the little tub or cup, the tholis, which is a small mountain or hill, or a round building in a dome. So it was coming back to Sandalphon, and the Pied Piper came up here as well. The fin and the Batista here is also a handkerchief, again that cloth to cover the head, but also to cover the head like an old lady would do. To cover, to overcome, to be baptized is to be beaten and whipped, or to think God is punishment, or to wipe the love light water off of the child's head. The fin allows movement, but within boundaries, or the boundaries of a church, right? You can worship as long as you do it according to their law or their doctrine. The doll measures pain, or dolphin can literally mean silly cloth of fine cotton or linen. Or a dolphin is also dew elfin, or the doe as in doe a deer. It's also elfin, nymph, spirit, or fairy. A child or butterfly is coming up here, or the doe-eyed child, or perhaps short adult, who's friendly and sweet, or a doll's handkerchief is dolphin, or a head wrap, or a sweet little old lady hiding their face or suffering in silence. And I'm losing my voice because this came up in the movie last night about hiding your aging face or being seen as ugly, because that comes up here too. Of course, that's a big wound for everybody. In the path or wake of the dolphin, or silly cloth, or man of the cloth, silly cloth. And And then Sandalphon breaks up into sand, OL, and PHON, which is a unit of loudness. And OL, one of the definitions is being sweet, like the sweet old lady. So it's the sand who's sweet and yet loud. And so what comes up around this is Sandalphon, the sand, or the 1-1, Oni Oni, which is another reference for union. The sand, or 1-1, Oni Oni, is sweet but loud, or the sweetness that's very loud. And that can be in religion too, right? Some kind of restriction there. But Sandalphon with sand is something that pours out and scoops and covers and holds. It's fine crystal rock and all shades of beige that gets on your nerves at times because of polishing and can lead and hypnotize with song and poetic words, but is true and can carry an ocean or just be lands to walk upon, banks and beaches of service, mission, and message, gravelly at times, and slips through the hourglass, 1-1, Oni Oni, the human union of all for one and one for all, the sweet, the old, the he, she, and it, and whole even when silent, it can be so loud, the way of Sandalphon, Saint Dolphin, the path of divine, sweet Finn, or reflection of Jesus, if not dueling dolphins with jet skis here. So there's a coming together and joy here with sudden refreshments. Okay? That's literally Sandalphon. Oh, from the cards, they were 43, 16, and 7, which is the coming together in joy with sudden refreshment. Again, refreshing, rebirthing, that same kind of energy there. And again, starting out from when I started the read, saying, come together right now over me, referencing go straight to God. So Sandalphon and the dolphin, the water and the Holy Grail, to be, to have, there's this parallel of Sandalphon, dolphin, the water, and the Holy Grail. To be, to have, to hold. Water, emotion, and a heart of gold. GOLD, which is GOLD. The cheerleader. At 12:06, the hanging man and the lovers. A love for life. The Knight of Wands, to discover the keys, naturally on the path, so there the naturopath comes up again, to open locks at the root of the family trees of division. And the Knight of Wands inspired to a higher love, with the Knight of Swords with a message to bring, of inspiration, the lock and key, or the key and lock, the inspiration, the key and lock, a new dawn of phased array. The organic phased array is literally the rays of the sun. And before I turn the page here, I want to bring up the Pied Piper, because the Pied Piper literally comes up as the multicolored, because they're seen as ugly, dull, or broken, or weird. The footprint, literally, of the musician. And why do you become a musician? Because you want to speak about your heart and how it hurts or how it glows. The footprint of the musician who loves shine and reflection. So wanting to shine as others do, only going within to find the answers here. That's the Pied Piper, literally translated. So it also comes up as the piper is a baby pigeon or a sea urchin or a horse. They can't breathe properly. And then pepper. So these are all things that people kind of toss to the side. And also the foot comes up with the pied, right? So the footprint of Jesus in the sand, which came up the other day as well. So welcome back to the high vibe destiny of the Akashic Records and evaluation, or recording, which is recording, aka shh in the Akashic Records, which is eval of ev and all, the sound of the train pulling into the station, shh, repair your chords or record, and harmonizing your love light so the ship will see you in the storm. Be still, my heart. Beacon of light at 12:16, the hanging man and the sudden event. Shine on, don't give up, leave no man behind. Wise golden review here, and then pink willow reflecting compassion of self-love, spiritual love, and new love. What you long for is longing for you too, stretching to reach out to each other. With the love card then, and the aqua rose gold heart, which is liquid sunshine, happy tears, water serenaded, and the fountain of youth. Water, flower, alchemy, earth, transmuting, transforming, and transcending, the 3 T's. The urgent energy of water, Wat, and ER, urgent energy, and then flower, which is urgent flow. The urgent energy and flow, all chemistry at the Y in the road, or the 0 point field of Earth, Terra, and Gaia. The triple T's, or 3 T's, which can be 3 Tesla, like an MRI, of one for all and all for one, where remember, for all and all for comes up as the upside down A, and then the right side up A. In addition to my right side up A, capital A, is the rocket and the teepee. And also references the penis, of course. And then we had, when I first started my alphabet list, it was coming up as the circumcised penis, the capital A upright. So it's the all for one and one for all, which can be just the numbers 1, 4 and 4, 1. But now it comes up as 1 in the upside down A, and then the upright A and the 1. And then with the 3 T's, 3 brothers were coming up, like 3 brothers dancing, like Greek dancing, but also Hava Nagila was coming up. And so I went into the 3 brothers, because I just told you yesterday that I used to work for 3 brothers, so I'm like, okay, where are they taking me now? And at 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door, I looked up the 3 brothers, and what came up was GreeksInWashington.org. So there's these 3 brothers who are older men now, George, Andrew, and Angelo Belosiades, and their father's name was, what do you think their father's name was? Christos, of course. And this is in Aberdeen, Washington. So Christos was very praised in this little article here. His mother died when he was 4. He only was schooled until the 3rd grade. He was in New York till he was 15 and then moved to Portland. So he came from Greece, right, to New York when he was 15, probably on his own, and then to Portland, Oregon. He started at a bowling alley setting pins, and then joined the railroad gang of other Greeks and worked on the Oregon Electric, moving around into different cities during that time, and then to North Washington as a group. And then he saved enough money to buy a restaurant with James Haliatis, his aunt's husband, in Aberdeen. So it was called the Seattle Cafe on Huron Street in Aberdeen in 1920. He went to Greece to find a bride, and then sailed to the U.S. with the intention of returning in a couple years, which they didn't. They got to Aberdeen by January of 31. And then a Greek wrestler who was known, I guess, came around. Then they thought it was a good financial opportunity. But after the wife yelled at him for a week, apparently he went really silent because, I don't know if she threatened to leave him or something like that. But the kids talked about how it was never spoke of again. But early in 1931, he took his weekly revenue that week to the Hayes National Bank at closing, and the very next day the bank closed. They only recouped about 5 cents on the dollar over the next 6 months, and it was really tough for a long time after that. In 1939, he left Aberdeen for Yakima, Washington, where he called for his family to help, and then lived there in that town until 1941, and then back to Aberdeen to the Seattle Cafe again. So he was up at 6 a.m. and then home every day between 8 and 12 midnight. It was said that he could pick up a 100-pound sack of potatoes with his teeth and throw it in the back of the truck. He found it relaxing to sleep on the floor and wooden benches. He closed the restaurant in 1960 and moved near George and Andy, his kids, in Tacoma until 1988, where then his son Andy lost their oldest child and they moved in with them at that point at 1991. And then his wife, Katina, was committed to memory care and passed away March 6, 96, which is literally the week before my daughter was born. So Christos was 101 at that time. He tended his garden after that and picked berries and gathered dandelions for his rabbit. He walked 3 to 5 miles a day, chopped wood, and helped his sons in the yard. Some summers he worked and cooked at a Greek Orthodox All Saints camp and retreat in Raft Island. He was known as Papu, or grandfather. This was at 1255, the hangman and the truth. He had 9 grandchildren, 12 great-grandchildren, and he passed away at a whopping 107 years old. Okay? Remember the 1 and the 7, because that's significant too, not to mention the 2 and the 7 that came up on my movie last night twice. And that was on July 6th, 2001. And something he was known for saying was great things, great things. So I thought that was a very inspiring story. You know, how often do we hear about someone who lives to be that old, let alone has been through so much as he has? So I was getting a love story. This is what love is, right? The love of life for him and the love of his family, the appreciation for what he was able to give to his family after he didn't have something when he was growing up. And again, the triple T's were coming up. And a long time ago, triple T's came up for me, and I forgot what I got at that time. But here I was getting the 2 pies coming together, which creates a 3rd pie when the 3 finally come together, overlapping each other. Because then it's just the 11, but it's 2 11s on top of each other, which creates a third form of that. So from the heart and the rainbow bridge, inspiration and the wind beneath his wings, letting go of control, time to release, winter to fall, or when to fall. The page of wands in the pink, or perhaps a seed in the womb, in phased array, that first started in the heart, with the Knight of Wands inspired to destiny of a higher love, and birthing something new. The dragon fire of strength, keeping an eye on it, the sun, and matching the rays, the sign of the birds, and great things to come. Messages with love. The mother holds space, and the mother card here is 29, which is written as 2911 because it's a power number. So remember, the 11 is referencing the feminine. The mother holds space with presents and gifts. The Madonna, the Sophia, Milady, also it means husband and wife at times, Madonna. As the Christos, or 33, stands at the door, at the portal, the gate, waiting for a hug, taking the number 33 to the golden gate, or the 66 of that phi spiral energy, to the 99 of infinite compassion along the 22, which is missing between the 11 and 33 of the journey from the feminine to the masculine. The 22 journey of compassion of the mother, father, and the baby bird flying free. That she holds space for them and he sets them free, teaching them to fly and transition, learning to breathe the ether in the diamond light of the sun portal, the son of the father, mother, the Christos Sophia. The hermit is being called to take action here with sand. Again, the sand of the beach, where the land meets the sky, meets the land meets the sea, meets the sky, meets the I am. Showering and clearing with diamond light to see the shadow within, and the Knight of Cups of being love to heal the physical emerald heart, with the magic of the busy bee pollinating the buttercup flower, or Mary Magdalene, or one of the one, or the Oni, who goes with the flow, sometimes with urgent flow. And then the Hermit and the Shadow Pack and the Knight of Cups and the Master Manipulator, that we all have a set. The Hermit and the Shadow Pack and the Knight of Cups and the Master Manipulator. We all have a set of the light and the shadow. Wake up to align. 2 magicians, it's time to come home for dinner, with 2 hearts and 2 portals, the sun and the womb. Notice Madonna of 29, and the clarion call is her, the 29/11. For her divine feminine to divine masculine, the mother-father role, the Queen of Wands needs to stretch and lunge here, which is the divine masculine's feminine side, the orangutan, the forest or veggie man, very physical and active, releasing energy to the dragon sun god, or a sun worshipper, and bridging the rainbow through that energy to fuel his studies and keep them on path, focused and aligned. with the divine masculine letting them know, or with the divine feminine letting the divine masculine know when it's time to come home for dinner. Because they get a bit of tunnel vision, right? They get distracted. So she must take his horse blinders off to get him to take a break. So remember when I'm talking about masculine and feminine, it doesn't mean man or woman, right? Because a man can have more of the motherly energies and a woman can have more of the fatherly energies. So this is more of the feminine and masculine energies. So worshiping the sun rays, allowing all the love light in to help make the shadow more clear, to deal with later when you have the energy for that shadow pack storage unit, transforming, transmuting, and transcending chaos, conflict, anger, frustration, and the sadness within, in the collective awakening at 126, which is the Magician and the Page of Wands, and the spring flowering of expansion and creation in your life as the mother, and the learning how to meld the sword with the stone as the father, the truth of the purple moon at 0 point, that she holds space for the collective, and he finds the needle in the haystack and brings it home for dinner, waiting at the door for a hug, always open to show the way. He with the arms open and she with them crossed in order to hold. He manifests the change and she shapes it and molds it, giving loving attention. She holds with the heart and inner strength. He holds with his outer strength and his wisdom of his knowledge at 132, which is that Magician and the 32 of the journey. Together, she is the 11 and the 3. The 3 of the mother that came up as the clarion call in this deck, and the 11 of alignment, and he as the 33 of that Christ vibration and the 30 of the union, which source energy backs up the 3 because she's just the 3 alone, because the feminine naturally contains that source energy where it's different for the masculine. She sources within and he without. She aligns, stabilizes, and shapes and provides abundance from within. He creates and distributes for the greater good by guiding and protecting and providing a home and change. She acts as the masculine distribution sometimes on that community level to the children, whereas he's doing it on the world level to protect them when he is distributing and protecting the world, with physical strength to endure the outer elements, and she with the inner strength to endure the elementary and the elementals, dear Watson. As he deduces, she epiphanizes, and both trusting their sources at 143, which is the Magician and the 3 of Cups of coming together. To remember to shower, drink, and swim. Eat, love, pray. Drink, swim, shower. A sudden thirst to come together and shower in the light. The Last Supper before rising. The garden and the gate. Gethsemane. Together, see the mane. That's literally Gethsemane. Together, see the mane, like the lion's mane or the horse's mane, and Lion's Gate came up right away. So Gethsemane came up. And also the garden, instead of the Garden State Bridge, the Garden Gate Bridge was coming up. So I'll tell you what that was about in a second. And Gethsemane always comes up for me around this time, like February, March. So the way Gethsemane comes up as, and by the way, Semanes just means a week. It means 7 days. And Geth literally means together. Together for 7 days. Gethsemane. It also has some other meanings, but they'll come together here. So it's together as one in a sudden event, epiphany, or energetic exchange, as the hair stands on end or on their neck or on their back or their head. The golden egg or the golden child or the man lay with you as one, conjuring by hand and mind yonder, in moonlight in the morning, 7 days a week, not just the 7th day or latter day or by saints. Okay, so it's about coming together with your direct connect every day, not just 1 day a week. And then the Garden State Parkway came up because the Garden Gate Parkway or bridge was coming up, but there's nothing like that that really comes up online. So I assumed it was the Garden State Parkway, which was correct because it did become clear after I went this direction. So the Garden State Parkway, for those of you who don't live on the East Coast, goes from Cape May, New Jersey to New York at Montreal. or Montvale. So it's the address for the Garden State Parkway is considered Union County, New Jersey, by the way, and it was started in 1947, designated as, but not recorded as, but designated as Route 444, the Angelic Realms, and that's designated by the Department of Transportation. It's north of Asbury Park, and you all know Asbury Park from Bruce Springsteen, and it splits into the local and express lanes, and then through Middlesex, so then referencing the middle of the sexes, and then Union County right after that. And then passing Route 78 and 80, which is the end of the deck of the Dream Family 78, and the 80 of that destiny of Source backing up, the Dance of the Eight. And then Bergen County, which is where my grandmother lived, and into New York to the New York State Thruway main line. So then I looked up again bridges. So what do you want me to look at here? And the Driscoll Bridge came up, named after Driscoll. And again, the bridge goes through Middlesex, Woodbridge Township, and then to Sireville. It is the widest car bridge in the world by number of lanes. The Driscoll Bridge has 12 lanes, 6 on each side. It was redone, I think, around 2002 or something like that. But it's always been really big, because obviously it's right next to New York. So the Driscoll Bridge has 3 different spans within it. At the Raritan River, near the mouth of the Raritan Bay. The Raritan Bay is big, and it goes up near Plum Island too, right? Because Long Island ends up where Plum Island is, where they did all that experimentation on, mixing animals, perhaps animals and humans as well. And then at the one thing reported on this Wikipedia, the Driscoll Bridge, was February 17th. Again, there's that 17. February 17, 10. Shamsuddin Abdur Rahim threw his baby girl off the bridge there. The little girl baby wasn't found until April 24th, right? So it's like over 2 months later. But it was confirmed by DNA, and of course he's in prison for life at this point. But it was a very sad energy. But it was interesting that it came up, because I had that experience when I was in the south of France. When Mercedes Kirkle was doing her meditation in the Mary Magdalene cave, which happens to be on a cliff. A group of women were waiting for us to finish with the cave. And they did some kind of birthing ceremony outside the cave and shrilled at one point. And we were in a deep meditation. And I literally was taken back to being burned at the stake right on that cliff and then thrown off the cliff. And then being seen as a baby being thrown off the cliff too. So I have a lot of energy in France, obviously. So it was exactly that same energy that I experienced of being a baby being thrown off the cliff. So that was coming up. So there's currently a project in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. They're redoing some of the bridging there. There's 5 or 6 bridges there at the interchange of 105, for those of you who don't know, who perhaps use it. The Driscoll Bridge was coming up as paralleling. The reason why it was coming up as the Garden Gate Bridge was because it's paralleling the Golden Gate Bridge, as in an angel and a devil type of thing. The Golden Gate is the golden egg, right? The California Bridge. It's beautiful. It's known as one of the 7, beautiful things in the world. It's the sacral energy. The cards that were coming up here is the Spa Serpent cracked open, whereas the Garden Gate Bridge, or the Driscoll Bridge, was coming up as the black or dark egg, the shark. So again, the San Francisco Bridge of Heaven's Gate, and then this New Jersey going to New York Bridge is Hell's Mouth, like Beauty and the Beast, the wonder and the 12 lanes of hell, right? Because the Golden Gate Bridge is very slim and beautiful, and it doesn't have 12 lanes, that's for sure. And 12 lanes, as you can imagine, is hell for anybody to cross. So the gateway to the shores, the way it's talked about, which is the way it's set up here on the East Coast, right? We all have these highways that go to the beaches, and then there's the Garden State Parkway that runs along the beach line, so you can just exit off of the parkway there. So the people around that bridge, which isn't near me, is the gate. They called it the gateway to the shore, which is the beach and the sand. Again, we've been talking about the sand today, and they call their non-beach people bennies there. They're the beach, aliens, the ones who don't live there all year round. And again, we're right there near Ellis Island and Staten Island right there, where the Raritan Bay is right below Staten Island, and then the Statue of Liberty is right above Staten Island, so you can get an idea of where it is. And of course, then the Highway 78 is right there, which is that 10 of Pentacles again, of the end of the deck. And then as it gets to that's where it goes from Jersey City to New York. And then, like I said, Plum Island was the island right off the tip of Long Island on the inner islands there, which I've talked about before at length. So then I was finished with that line. So there's a reason why the Driscoll Bridge was coming up for some reason. I don't know why, but it was coming up as the parallel to the Golden Gate Bridge as the Angel and the Devil, which came up this week, paralleling the Angel and the Devil card, the 14th and the 15th, that we all have the odd and even. That's the masculine feminine bit of this. So then I came up because Jesus was coming up because of Gethsemane and all that. And I'm like, okay, Jesus. So I keep getting that your birthday is January 7th. Is that correct? And I kept getting the year 7. But I was just reading up on Jesus. And, there's so many different viewpoints on what year he was born and when his birthday was. But I asked him directly, and this is what I got. So when I asked him when his birthday was, I'm getting January 7th, was that correct? And I automatically got a confirmation. But then I pulled cards at that same time, and it was amazing the way the cards came out. And I was just about to do my message of the day, and those cards were cut at 3 p.m., which is the time of Jesus' death, according to what they've reported anyway, from 9 to 3 p.m. And so my number one question was, what year were you born? And so when I got 7 as a response without pulling the cards, but then I pulled the cards, and the first card out was an 8 card. I'm like, am I not right then? It's not 7, it's 8. But then when I looked at that card closer, it's one of those cards that has 2 numbers on it, which is 8 and 9, which for me, they know how I think. So they know I'll think 7, 8, 9 is the pattern there, that 7's missing. And they confirmed it because then the next 3 cards were, or the next 4 cards were number 12, 21, and then 37, which is the King of Cups, or Jesus, and then the number 4, which then was 374, which 3, 4 is 7, which I always talk about, and they knew I would confirm that as well. And the first 2 cards were 1221, which is very significant, right? Because that was supposed to be the end of the world in 1221, or 1221-12. And the underlying card was the Queen of Cups, storks of nesting like the dream, and that's number 17, which then the second question was, well, if January 7th, you're confirming that's your birthday, or that the year of your birth is 7, then wait, which way did I do this? Okay, so my first question was what year you were born, 7. But then when I went back, I said, well, is the date of your birth 1/7, was that correct? And then I pulled another card, but before I even pulled the next card, I didn't have to, because they said, go back to the first pull. You already answered that question, because the bottom of the deck was 17, 1/7. So it's confirming January 7th, the year 7, prior, right, to death, which really is like a minus number, right, because there are no minus years when you're living. So 177 will be literally 1/7 minus 7. So it becomes the 1 life lesson number, which is the Magician, which makes total sense. So that's the birth date I get, is 177. So, and plus when I asked that second question, they said to go back to the first question, which I got that 17. And then I looked at the bottom of the deck after I had shuffled, and there was the man with the rose on the bottom of the deck, which is that loving man in the Lenormand Reverie, which is, the most beautiful masculine energy in the deck. So those were my 2 questions. And then I dealt out the message of the day. So here's the message of the day. Focus. Thank you. So this is my message of the day. These are the underlying energies right in the middle here, and then it starts up top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over here 6 and 7. Okay. And these 4 decks are the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the Lenormand Reverie, the Gilded Tarot, and then the Kipper deck. So this was done at 3 o'clock, but then I got distracted to answer those two questions, so I came back to start interpreting it at 3:19, which is the 3 of the Empress, or Gaia, Terra Gaia, and the 19 of the Sun, so again the Mother and the Sun. The message of the day and the underlying energy was the Worm, the Well, the 3 of Wands reversed, and the Privileged Lady. And then Wormwood came up right away, as well as worms in general have been coming up, as in people worms. And the Earthworm was coming up as small and easily intimidated, curled up in a ball protecting their light. And then Tapeworm came up from looking at the card. So definitely someone has worms. In the intestines from the well water. So somebody who uses well water might be getting worms from their well water. So that's a message for somebody specific. Or diving deep into your intestines and guts for self-love or lack thereof to find out why why you have a nervous stomach, what's causing that. So looking back or going back to see the wise privileged lady, or to hang out with the privileged lady and see new perspectives with them. With the Cobra, then these 3 big cards came up, the Cobra, Dragon, and the Horse, which are very profound energies. They came in together in the underlying energy here after the Eagle's landing, all paying attention, which is interesting too, because after I did this, I hadn't listened to anything else all day, and I listened to, why am I blanking out? What did I listen to? Let's see if it comes up here. Oh, I can't find it. Why am I not remembering? Well, anyway. I don't know, I'm blanking out on her name. She's the one who connects to the Pleiadians like Elena does, but she's younger and blonde, and I just can't think of her name right now. But she just did a report on her video about having like a Declaration of Independence, but you can listen to her video. But like a meeting of the big people, including Mr. T there. So I don't want to give all her information out. You can watch her video. But I'm saying it because paralleling with this information I got before I listened to her video. So the Cobra, Dragon, and the Horse came in here after the Eagles landed, all paying attention carefully here. Cobra with laser focus, and Dr. Agon, or Dragon, saying, "Look into my eyes." And the Horse, well, Saggy, you had me at hello. The teacher showing the student to look into the eyes close up to see the inner dragon, which is also Dr. Agon, which means to drive away the inner struggle of the duality of the protagonist and the antagonist, right? That constant duality between them, to see the player and the master, Dr. Agon and Mr. Ed, as the Cobra Kundalini rises up over the head, nearing enlightenment, never nearing the end, as the moth to the flame at 332, going into 333 right here, of the 369, they know not what they do, unable to resist the flame. The wolf is stunned and paralyzed by their passions, losing control of what the pack does. As Scorpion has their tail up, ready to trigger and jump her cables, shocking the starfish back to life, as the butterfly bears witness to this. The Star and Buttercup Yellow, or Jesus and Mary Magdalene, learned how to fly as the Black Panther, Grim Reaper, tries to take them on, but they got all tied up in knots inside. Or the Black Panther with child, and don't mess with a pregnant mother or someone nesting with their babies. The most fearsome one of all. The Earthworm is shy and reluctant to share because they're new at this. But often the newbies offer the insight that the seasoned just don't normally see. The Power Lady is looking out for a delivery, perhaps to Atlas and burdens and the dance of Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, the mortician in the tomb, or embalming techniques perhaps, used in Egypt. The advantage of working for oneself without the church or university to answer to. Standing up for sovereignty regarding needles and IVs, And the Page of Swords, child in transition to get from here to there, but unsure how to get there and confused about it. Understanding the now and the end, but not the middle, because they're projecting the future and not staying present and going with the flow. Using your instincts to get through the maze. Amazing grace from 3 to 5, referencing after Jesus died from 3 to 5, and the time here was actually 3, 4, 5. Divine grace, which 3, 4, 5 also referencing the 3D, 40, 5D. Divine grace at 3 p.m. when Jesus died, where 3 to 4 and 3 to 2 come at the same time, pinpointing the mid-cycle, present at the moment to walk away and within, in romancing journey of the 2 doors on the Fool's Journey with the Queen of Pentacles. But remember, on the Fool's Journey, if there's 2 doors, we'll just push those 2 doors together into one, and you have double doors and only one opening. Self-love at 3:48, again, the Empress or Gaia walking away and within. Self-love and diving deep into the well with cranky old bucket, perhaps. Being strong, Guinevere, she's like the wind, with the lion on the leash and taming the beast. Taking them back to Christmas past, or the Christ Mass past, when they hung him, when they didn't hear the call, when they know not what they do, when they choked or got scared or didn't swallow their pride and were clingy or resisting change and not deciding and holding back calls and announcements and judgment and truth, in need of dying and rebirthing and then dumping multiple loads and multiple emotional attachments, but then no longer confused, as hindsight being 20/20. As I can see clearly now, the rain has gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. The wealthy man in transition with a message of concern, of a higher love and or patience, with bad health or health care issues and chaos, or the reading of the will, or to the main male number 1, also a message. Or the wealthy man is the lawyer preparing the will for the sick man who's now sending that will to the main male, 17, the star, the golden child, as 28 lady, or that twin flame or choice of path lady, expecting or with certain expectations at 3:58, the mother or empress and the 4 of swords of being on break or resting, or that 5D connection between the twins, perhaps has certain expectations from the emperor's courtship, and the mature woman or mother with hard-working daughter or his sister, the Queen of Cups, and the father who's more concerned about her circumstances or worried about martyring himself with 33, and the 17, which comes up as Jesus in both ways, since he just told me this 1/7 was his birthday and 33 is the Christ vibration. The gift, the present, and the gold coming in, or literally receiving Jesus, or a gifting moment, a divine intervention, or perhaps he's close with his daughter and feels like she was God's gift to him out of the blue, and the gift of hermiting changes of him receiving a car or home that his mother perhaps worked so hard to make sure he was provided for. The wounded warrior's path of war times and how hard it was back then, as the story I presented to you before this, and not wanting to slip back into that victim mentality of the shadow lovers and the writing on the wall. As the King of Wands to the courthouse with papers in hand, I was just getting pipers in hand as in the Pied Piper. The King of Wands to the courthouse with papers in hand, concerned about the lady who's become accustomed to being served, as in divorces, right? The one who's become accustomed to a certain lifestyle, so you have to pay for that lifestyle now. And getting served and no longer to always get their way. Okay, so this is concerned about a lady who's becoming accustomed to being served and now getting served, or no longer always going to get her way. Or perhaps he spoiled his partner or his daughter and now can no longer be that way because of financial restraints, or they turned into a monster because they spoiled them, or a southern belle. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, I was just getting a bell ringing. So at 4:11, which is urgent information, now digging really deep to find love and wisdom and face demons. As the first section is the whale, the raccoon, and the shark. Of the whale exhausted, the raccoon totally sad and uninspired after the shark attack. Then I was inspired. Now I'm sad and tired. After all I've tried for 3 years, seems like 30. Why then am I scared to finish what I started? What you started, I didn't start it. So that came from Jesus Christ Superstar. But then again, we're talking about 30 years, and today's the 30th. The whale is needing a lifeline with wise communication of birds, or the group of birds, standing up to false person or Leo, or the masks, or in the tango between a man and a woman. Where the raccoon is wearing a mask and no longer digging through trash, grounding, integrating, and mastering and examining every last detail of the emperor reversed on the official man's fool's journey, or digging through that official's trash. And that came up the other day, too, about digging through trash. The shark-loving man at 28 spent every last dime on Atlas ship and distant horizons, or a false official ghosted them, or official took off with his wife or girlfriend along with all the stuff, or the man or official is thrown out with the trash, is back in the spotlight with spaceships to anchor. Or the divine masculine is recruiting, the divine masculines in general are recruiting the divine feminines to support their causes. We have Pisces and Leo here with Aries reversed. The second section here is the gazelle and the spiderweb. The graceful gazelle caught in the web, hermiting gifts or flowers in public judgment, or meeting, or wanting to build a power structure, perhaps using flowers and crystal, or doing announcements from the park or garden instead of inside the house at 424, which is the Emperor and the Queen of Wands. The gazelle is reaping rewards as the hermit or Virgo with trees and flowers, as the King of Cups is impoverished boy on their way, or perhaps to jury duty, or the divine masculine with gifts, and all he needs is nature, leaving behind the old world, as the spider in the web is natural in public parks or online forums, but feeling judged and left for dead, with only Bambi to the rescue in a gated community, or just feeling fenced in. Or the whole neighborhood knows their business, or is being very judgmental. And then the movie The Jerk was coming up, where he just leaves and he's saying, and all I need is this lamp and this ashtray. As Virgo and Aquarius, and a lot of judgment here, or jail time, to the poorhouse or to the jailhouse, or no option but to go back to the gated community, perhaps to parents' house, in a judgment that they swore they'd never return to. At 431, the Emperor and the chaos of the group, or conflict, or battles. Trapped in a web of public judgment and betrayal of the courts, or neighbors, or parents, or of parks and rec facility, or received a money pit in the will. And then the third section is the stingray, the turtle, and the fire ants. The stingray is turned on and activated and plugged in, and that could be someone who's online all the time, in a breakthrough or in need of sunshine or exposure, on the Queen of Wands, or the false person, the dark mother of the boy, or Gemini with Leo in their chart. As lovers are taken by a child, or the Queen of Wands is attracted to an underage boy and they're flirting with them. The turtle is slow in telling the loving lady with gifts to go on without them, after deceived mature worldly man, perhaps by the Queen of Wands, or perhaps a couple of scammers. And that can even be someone's daughter. I wasn't getting that before. Could be a couple who's a scammers, or just one person, or it could literally be someone's child who's now with another person who makes them both scammers of their own family here. Perhaps the old man was taken to the cleaners by their own child, or this couple of scammers. The fire ants swarming to the wound, or the event, as the fox leaves the hen house for a higher love, or feeling like a failure, or sneaking out under the radar at a funeral service, or the stingray plugged in to a turtle at the event who's really slow. Perhaps someone famous was there, and somebody, was like putting microphones in their face trying to get an interview, but it's a funeral, right? Like they don't want to talk to anybody. As the sun breaks through, or the breakup of a loving lady and the fox at an event, the sun went down, and I was also getting, don't let the sun go down on me. So that was coming up too. In the deception under the radar, or a boxing match event, or someone passed at a big event, or up before the sun to avoid the crowds or the traffic, and the Queen of Wands flirting in a funeral service with or without a partner present, or the partner left because she was blatantly flirting at a family member's funeral service, or a death due to infection or complications of injection where two don't agree and now one is leaving the relationship at 448, which is the Emperor and the Eight of Cups walking away within. We have Gemini, Sagittarius, Leo, and Cancer reversed here, as well as Taurus. And then the fourth section here is the bunny rabbit, the hummingbird, and the lion. I was just getting honey bunny too from, I can never remember the name of the movie. But you know I'm talking about Honey Bunny, right? With John Travolta. So the bunny and the hummingbird are gossiping. Or the hummingbird is clearing things up for the rabbit who's scared, and the lion's not talking or has their back turned to them. The rabbit, Knight of Cups, took a risk that didn't pay, or got paid to lie or spread rumors, or was paid to keep quiet. The hummingbird is clearing the air with this other kid, with the Page of Cups and their multiple faces of vulnerability, and their world is now upside down, as the last train is leaving, or the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups siblings are, it looks like there's an air sign and a Pisces, so it could be Gemini or Libra and a Pisces children, it looks like here, and the lion father type power male here. Perhaps they broke up at an honoring or event, or gave kids money for the train, but they spent it and then never showed up for the event. A father may be mad at their kids, or two-faced liars, or two kids dealing with a mean man at the train station, perhaps who took their money or promised them something and then reneged and didn't give them anything afterwards. Or a father who has literally disowned their children, or just a mad or sad event or honoring of a man, or he's the man of honor, and the kids have to just behave while he's there, or a day together on the train with their kids, or going to a reenactment, or paying to see the king, the show, and the Knight of Wands, or two kids trying to catch someone famous, but the famous person blew them off when they finally got near them. Or there's no love loss here. With Leo, Pisces reversed, and two perhaps, there could be two Pisces here, perhaps, Gemini reversed and Libra too, possibly Sagittarius as well, or the power man couldn't get himself or kids in as he promised because his partner refused to come at the last minute after a fight, and she had the clout or tickets, or had to go to a funeral last minute, so told them to go without her. Or maybe she just found an excuse not to go, because maybe she's got somebody's secret. Because I was getting that as the turtle, who was just saying, oh, go without me. Maybe she was too slow getting ready. Or the Page of Swords reversed and Pisces broke up, and those could be a young couple as well. So the fifth section here is the doe or the deer, the beaver, the dolphin, and the unicorn, which I was definitely getting if there's a teacher who just loves to teach. There's no dark energy in this group at all, right? The doe, the beaver, the dolphin, the unicorn are all light energies, no darkness around them. They're all they're all able to hold their own energy. The deer one, the hard worker, and the friendly dolphin, and then the adult unicorn, or the etheric gateholder, the divine feminine. Or the deer with wise counsel triumphed with sudden wealth or alignment and justice, where the beaver has a one-to-one connection with direction, and the Knight of Swords reversed with romantic little girl, or the moon child. And could be Libra here with Pisces and or Cancer here, and then two wise birds with the dolphin sudden star, with a high vibe energy or Scorpio, and the Queen of Pentacles reversed with empty nest or a room to come together with them. The unicorn with time crunch due to the King of Cups Scorpio, and the Queen of Swords with light present, but perhaps there's somebody here who's scared of a mouse, or the Queen of Swords is upright, imprisoned by her own gifts, or perhaps imprisoned by a gift that someone gave them. The deer one with hard-working daughter and friendly son, or suddenly Pisces and Scorpio came together without the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or perhaps doing that to surprise them, or perhaps the Queen of Pentacles is upset because they didn't ask them if they wanted to come. Or the unicorn with 3 kids, visitors, or surprise guests they weren't planning for and now feeling imprisoned. Perhaps they had, the house wasn't cleaned up, or the bathrooms weren't clean, or she wasn't dressed, or whatever. But at 516 is the Hierophant, or change, freedom, and expansion in the 16 of a sudden event. Or perhaps a teacher who just loves teaching, like I said, or 3 really good students of the unicorn, or the 3 of them are competing for something she offered them to get their attention, and the dear one triumphs over the 3 with wise counsel and hit the jackpot, where the beaver's holding their tongue about it, but the dolphin Scorpio is still happy just to be near them, or the dolphin has a sudden epiphany and got really excited because they had an epiphany, but then that ungrounded them. Or this is also a mom just missing her kids. The 6th section is the lizard and the fish out of water. The lizard is cracking the whip, seeking justice or to align, keeping their cards close to their chest, as the man with sudden thoughts of a woman. The fish out of water, as the Page of Wands, inspired to crack codes, but doesn't know how, with a new passion for the journey, but they may be in despair over how, but also because of the pair. The lizard's not telling, but they know about the Page of Wands' passion here. The 7th little section here is the female occupied in energetic exchange, or just very busy at work, back and forth, sewing the pieces together as the main female high priestess of abundant marriage in court, judicating with the Page of Wands, which can be child court, but that can be the golden child here, for he to get out of a marriage or getting out of a custody agreement to be part of the community. This could be a child fighting for their own independence, or fighting over a child in court, or it's a divorce. But there's definitely feels like a young boy, or this is the divine masculine who feels young again in getting out of the situation, wanting to be part of the community, no longer wanting to be part of what he was part of before. And then I'm getting cheers, which just came up yesterday about or was that today? With the gold, the go led is the cheerleader. So cheers came up for the feminine in that way, and now it's coming up for the masculine as cheers, like in the show Cheers. Or a couple who's adopting a boy or taking them in at 529, which is the Hierophant and the 29 of being present in the moment. All right, so now let's go back to the twin flame read on the table. Yeah, and right after I posted the video last night, that's when the Garden of Gethsemane first came up, but then it came up again this morning. And when it came up when I was posting the video last night, I was getting in the Garden of Gethsemane, right, where he says, the truth is just a little harder when brought about by friends. For all you care, this wine could be my blood. So that was coming up last night. And again, that's when came up saving the children from predators, came up in the title yesterday. So the read on the table. Here's the basic read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck. Okay. And then here is the full 7-deck read. And this was cut and dealt right at 8 o'clock. And actually, I'm just going to reach across you real quick because I need to get my water. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So it was cut and dealt right on the nose at 8 o'clock. A lot of source energy backing up the 8 of the dance, the manifestation of dreams coming true. And then at 8:11, which is the 11 of justice, truth and balance, GE of flames came up, which is GE is energy, and the flames can be drama. So the energy of drama, of the fire, of anger and frustration. And then lames came up as well. So LAMES. So it can reference lame or la maze. La maze is the maze, and I was talking about the maze in the one read. So the energy of drama here. And that can be some, la maze is like I can see cross-dressing, or a feminine person who's just very flamboyant in that way, or loves to get attention. So the energy of drama or the drama queen. When I finished clarifying, it was 828. So again, the strength, the dance of manifestation, the 28 of the twin flames, or choice of path. And the major arcana here is the strength card, transition, and ascension. Before the read is Starseed and the Hanging Man. And after the read is Luna and the Shadow, which is the devil. The Starseed is the Fool. The Hanging Man is the Hanging Man. The transition card is the Death card. And ascension is the World. 3 swords, 3 cups, 1 pentacle, 1 wand. So that's 33 and the 11, which came up in the read today. The 11 was the 2911 of the feminine, making the clarion call for the men to come home for dinner. And then the masculine Christ energy comes up as the 33 with the 22 of the journey between them. So then we have the Knight of Swords, the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups in the read. Before the read is the Page of Cups. And then after the read is the Queen of Wands along with 2 nines. The 9 of Pentacles, I think, is the... Yeah, that's in that... Yes, they're both after. Okay, so the 9 of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands, which is the Wounded Warrior and the Sovereign, are both there around the Queen of Wands there in the end. That 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Wands. I'm sorry, no, the 9 of Pentacles is here in the read. That's how the twin flames are seeing themselves. I was confused. I didn't see it after the read. I'm like, why did I write that there? The code line was all about spiritual partnership and intuition, and the code number was 9 from the code line, which is all about the hermit and the collective. So it's the one and the all. It's also compassion, endings, completion, right? So the messages came up like this regarding spiritual partnership and intuition. And the P was taken off of partnership. So it's like artnership, which is more of that send-off-on energy of creativity, art, music, all that kind of stuff, as opposed to the warrior. So the P of the masculine with housing, but not connected to a spiritual side, disconnected from the artnership, right? Being more spiritual. The spiritual partnership and the intuition. Remember, my intuition is in-twit connection. The twit is the twin towers with I, you, and I in between. In the twin tower connection with you and I in the middle. So the messages came up as the sudden event of time out or toggling up, or TIFO, but I was getting TIFO like the crop circles, and then the year 9 AD. And that took me into looking up 9 AD regarding where Jesus was in 9 AD. And then the King of Cups as Jesus, they're telling me, because most people think he was 12 at that point in the Bible. But the first thing that came up was someone else who didn't agree with that when they talk about 12 years, it doesn't say 12 years old in the Bible. It says 12 years, which they thought was referenced as 12 years in that location after they had left Egypt. So they think he was more like 16 in 9 AD. As the King of Cups, and seasoned was coming up there, which makes sense, because that would be more seasoned young person who the people in synagogue would actually listen to and debate with, as opposed to a 5-year-old child. So 9 AD, Jesus was coming up, and this is what it said. And when he was 12 years, but not 12 years old, in the Holy Land, after returning from Egypt at 5 years old, a youth of 16 was counted as a man of testimony to debate with adults, not a 12-year-old. I didn't mean to say 5-year-old, 12-year-old. So, and then I questioned here too. So was he born in 2000? So if they think he's 16, then that would work out that he was born in 7 before birth. So in 9 AD, Jesus appears in the temple. That's when he goes and debates in temple to Jerusalem after the custom of the feast. So then they go into some of the more typical energies around that. So I'm not going to go into all of that, but they think that he passed in 30 AD because it was the leap year, but there's so many different perspectives. So then going into some more of the messages from the code line here, C, and C came up. So see with your eyes, see with your ocean of emotion, see with the C of the Christ consciousness or the whispering bench, of the twin flames and the phi energy, which can be the dual phi energy of expanding and contracting, or staying in the middle reflecting in 9 AD. The King of Cups, that man of unconditional love in high vibe trill and well respected, or the sudden event, epiphany, or energetic exchange, and the time out of the expansion or contraction or reflecting in the middle at the half moon or middle moon when it's more calm, or the twin flame half moon at 9 AD of the King of Cups or Jesus in their high vibration. I was also getting water, water, water here, with the FO is one of the definitions is water, and the number 4 comes up here too of the Emperor. The 4, and 49 came up here too. 49 was significant because it came up more than once. It came up yesterday and it came up again today when I was doing this, because IL, the Roman numeral for IL, is 49. And there's something around G. Then 9 came up on the code line. 4 came up here with FO, and I wrote it in the margin, so it's now in line with the number 9. And then 49 came up. So there's something significant about those numbers regarding 9 AD and his lifelines there. So 49. So I think he might be saying he lived to age 49, not to 39 or 40, because a lot of people think he didn't actually die at his crucifixion. So I'm getting 49, and then the year 9 AD, where he was more like 16 as opposed to 12, or even 17, I don't know. But and then the number 4 coming up. So if that means anything to any of you, that's for you. So then it was coming up as the sudden event, or to see the time out for the water break, for him to jump and leap up and then contract, to become shortened in dimension, or follow under, in front of, or through, under the influence at 9 AD, mastering their emotions of high vibe worship, like learning how to handle people who may worship you. So learning at a young age how to stay very level and not be affected by all that. And then the sudden event of seeing or having a sudden event or some kind of epiphany, the twin flames were coming up here as the Holy See. And part of that was coming up, not referencing the twins as the Pope, but referencing, because in a song I wrote, it's called All Eyes See. Not just the church, not just the Pope, but all eyes see. So that's the twin flames coming up as that reference of the Holy See. To see with your eyes, and see, or sudden event here with the twin flames at the half moon, where it's very calm, where all eyes can see. In 9 AD, which 9 is the hermit, and AD can be after death, but it also can be an ad, or I am. It also means person. Or 9 is the name, like the 9. Giving it fame or honoring, telling a story, the master of heart and emotions, or the male gypsy, the family, or the person who ices, or Isis, being the touchstone. Then it comes up as the sudden event, or seeing the twin flame expand and contract, or reflects at the mid-moon, or the now present moment, as the hermit gives or receives honor, name, fame, reputation, story, and or a tagline like rise and be love, or then love and rise, with the King of Cups respecting them. Spiritual partnership came up as PA actually, and then partnership. So again, PA could be Pa, but also Pennsylvania is coming up, which is, remember, the Philadelphia is the city of brotherly and sisterly love is actually the actual meaning. And this is also coming up, besides the partnership being more creative and musical with art and music, but also is coming up as the routine mercyship, intuition in the twit connection, the twin towers of you and I connection. So then it was 10 p.m. So 000 is behind the 1, backing up the magician embodiment, or the destiny of the 10. And then we have the Ace of Swords as the first card in the underlying energies here. So this is the Ace of Swords right there with the mini cards on top. And below that is the Page of Cups upright, the Ten of Cups reversed, the Starseed upright, the Hanging Man reversed, and the Four of Pentacles reversed. So the Page of Cups is upright here with unhappy family or a cycle of emotions that is just done or overdone, with a fresh start and a leap of faith, perhaps by a big download to the crown, awake and letting go as the Divine Masculine's heart's in the Batcave, but coming out with the truth at 10:06, the Wheel of Fortune and the Lovers. Letting go to walk together in groundbreaking plant, the diamond in the rough, catching up to be love as the Knight of Cups, and coming clean, getting clean, with the King of Wands reversed, with or as the King of Wands reversed, taming the beast or standing up for themselves to set themselves free at last, with the Magician upright, rise and shine to take a gamble with the Empress reversed, and the Page of Wands without space boots, but perhaps they're awake, or green curtains that they loved, but the Page of Wands reversed not so much, or makes their hair stand up on end, or the Empress is into the ice cream and nuts, or the sherbet, or the melon baller again, cold without boots, but the Page of Wands reversed has their lucky charms or their green boots on, or their head is irritated because they had their hair in a ponytail all day, or the Magician is getting them up early hoping that they can get the Empress reversed and the Page of Wands reversed to see the light, or the truth that may shock them. With Aries upright, Pisces or Capricorn reversed, Cancer and Taurus reversed, and then Leo and Gemini or Virgo upright here. Perhaps detoxed but without peace. The Sovereign withholding with Capricorn in their chart, and that could reference Jesus as well there too. Anything that references Jesus or Mary Magdalene is referencing the group of the masculines and the feminines. So detoxed with the Sovereign upright, withholding or saving for a new life, got through the deluge, or now time for new curtains or a dress perhaps. Spring to hang out with bird friends and unclog things, or be good even when things are not so great around them. At 10:25, Destiny and the Knight of Wands, the passionate being. So this could be the one, and beneath that is a wedding. The situation involves marriage. Delays or just no passion here, or in a heated exchange and not telling. Tackling the beast or strong-arming tactics with big palms and big feet. No more double dates up the mountains or being the fifth wheel. No longer castrated trying to mark their territory. As the Emperor reversed, perhaps the Emperor reversed is giving up their devilish parties or wife swapping or orgies and or addictions, or hanging with the rich and famous and giving that all up, or with the trophy wife, hanging out and getting all the light, and him trying to take ownership of that. Done being cut off, in need of the pearl, the lobster found whilst they were being ignored. And at 10:32, the Wheel of Fortune and the Journey, and saying to himself, how did I miss that? With Leo upright and Cancer, Capricorn, and Aries reversed here, health is 71 of that co-creation energy of the Three of Pentacles, and then personal growth with 7, which is the Chariot and Ascension, or personal growth, which can be an ultrasound. So the 10 of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or just done with an emotional cycle, with negative emotional cycle and constant fighting and no cooperation amongst them. Found a way out, an escape hatch. The King of Wands is on fire getting their wish, or celebrating with detox after, or celebrating that Aquarius or Star got clean, with the Page of Wands reversed, frustrated with unhappy memories, perhaps in green socks and not allowed to wear shoes, or it's like someone like always being yelled at for walking on the terracotta or Italian tile with their shoes on, when that's perfectly fine, right? Because tile's made to have shoes, right? So having to water at night and fallen out with dreams or dream person, or missed an opportunity to heal together at 10:38, Destiny with the Queen of Cups, with Pisces up and Capricorn reversed, Pisces or Capricorn reversed, or both, and Aquarius upright, as the truth comes out about a falling out in the past, or a bad childhood or difficult kids, or a past life experience and awakening and holding back from the Emperor reversed. The Page of Wands reversed, afraid to tell the Emperor, who was always wrapped up in their image of the trophy bride or perfect body and with barmaid or stripper, or obsessed with status, spas, or royal trappings at 1042 of Destiny and the Two of Cups, or fleur-de-lis and obsessed with health or working out at the expense of the family, or kids coming clean to Capricorn reversed about abusive mother or grandmother, or ego or awakening, or note to self, with the Page of Wands reversed trapped between the Empress reversed and the Emperor reversed, and the Sovereign who's free and clear without them. And that could be too, right? The kids who live close to the parents always get stuck taking care of them, but the child who doesn't live near them, kind of gets off the hook. That could happen as well. The wounded warrior is down on one knee, and then down on two knees in emotions, praying for justice and healing and forgiveness, perhaps, of the magician with all their tools on board now. With the Nine of Cups satisfied, getting over the loss, the past, the ending pain, or the pain in the ass, with new information about a negative past or kids, or a falling out and healing of dreams coming true and ending conflict and implementing a plan. To heal the heart with the King of Wands reversed and come full circle with the Hermit reversed. Or the past returns to heal and end the battle, to invest in their own heart, to heal and forgive the King of Wands reversed and the Hermit reversed, a world apart, or with Divine Feminine or Pisces between them. At 1052 of Destiny and the Queen of Swords. The recent past here is the Strength card, upright, of the Queen of Swords upright, speaking about the 5D connection, or the rest, or the break, or the meditation for self-satisfaction when they're losing their patience, or their temper, or the fallen angel shows up in disconnect or at a distance, with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, with a dysfunction or at a loss, and not sleeping or purging or stressed in Alaska where the sun is out all night. At 1054, maybe someone's on an Alaskan cruise or something like that. But that's destiny and a message. And the justice, the injustice of the resistance, or after sudden event or epiphany or sexual exchange, with the Knight of Cups upright offering love despite rejection and suffering in silence, or dealing with sister and feeling insane. The foundation is the Knight of Cups in the green room, with the Page of Swords reversed and Aquarius reversed, or needing to swallow their pride and step up to the plate after having lied or spied or spread rumors and blocking the inevitable, or living in a house of horrors or death, ending, dark night, and transition, to the Queen of Cups, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, backing them up, and not willing to budge until they know that they're safe, with Scorpio and Aquarius reversed, and Scorpio Queen of Cups upright, or meeting her maker. With the Knight of Cups upright, I wasn't feeling like that was death though. The Knight of Cups upright and the Queen of Cups upright, after the Page of Cups told the Ten of Cups reversed about the Starseeds and the awakening of the Divine Masculine's heart, now telling the truth to awaken, or as the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords who's reversed, to the Queen of Cups, or as the Knight of Cups is offering love to the Queen of Cups, despite the Page of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles both reversed, and as the Knight of Swords reversed is needing to swallow their pride, or Aquarius holding their tongue, with the King of Cups in justice of telling the truth about synchronicities to the Emperor reversed, and the Emperor seeing things, or Libra reversed telling on Aries reversed, and the Knight of Swords kept quiet, or was spreading rumors, and the challenge being the King of Cups of disconnect or distance from home, or not seeing eye to eye at home, with the King of Swords releasing information about the hostage to the world, or about releasing the Divine Feminine or Pisces, and releasing with them and coming full circle, or released now to travel. The twin flames or choice of path, to co-create or honor, dumping a load, a burden, responsibilities, or confessing to or about the Page of Wands reversed or their frustrations, as the Queen of Wands is planning on insinuating herself to get back together with them, uncomfortable pretending there's nothing wrong at 1126, which is justice in the Page of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community with dysfunction or loss, is receiving a passionate offer from the release of a prisoner who's sharing with the Knight of Wands, who's excited to marry or commit, grounding and integrating an offer of love at 1205, which is the Hanging Man and the Hierophant. So now, crowning is the transition or the Death card upright, with the King of Pentacles working to align and accepting being dumped or duped, perhaps feeling a failure as the Emperor reversed is starting over in love with a negative past, and juggling the Magician and his lovely Queen of Wands assistant And the harsh truth of mental disease or aging too quickly or dementia for the Hermit reverse, looking back, or living in the past needing help to awaken, or missing an opportunity due to ego and two lovers and big passion offered from the dream girl and the wounded warrior in surrender at the gate, directing or being directed there at the pearly gates, released, hostage letting go, shocked Queen of Pentacles reversed, receiving passion from the Queen of Wands, to share with the Knight of Wands upright the Hierophant or Queen of Wands bond of Taurus's love or rescue efforts, or settling out here. This is someone where the Queen of Wands is bored of Taurus's love because they're out rescuing everybody else except for them, so they're never around for them. At 12:25, which is the Hanging Man and the 25 of the Knight of Wands, the wounded warrior here is released to offer passion, and yet the victim still sits on the fence. So here's that victim who won't let go of their abuser because they're so used to being that way, they think it's a trick. Like when they tell them they can leave, they think it's a trick, and they don't really think they're free. The wounded warrior released to offer passion, and yet the victim still sits on the fence, not wanting to leave their abuser, thinking it's a trick or something, grounding and integrating a release from prison or energy vampiring to either offer the Ace of Wands or new passion to dysfunctional family, or share or settle out with the Knight of Wands and the Hierophant, or the Queen of Wands is bored of grounding and integrating, perhaps insignificant offers. At 12:28, the Hanging Man and the Twins, or choice of path, and soon as the Ten of Swords ending pain or in a painful end, the Knight of Swords, or excuse me, the King of Swords in disconnect or at a distance from their secret passion and their deception, or the Pisces and Cancer both reversed here, implementing a plan to get back on the horse with good news to bring, to share or settle out in a downturn or twist of fate, or Libra reversed and Four of Swords upright on break or resting, or 5D connect with the Queen of Cups upright and the King of Pentacles upright here. The twin flames are seeing themselves as the Nine of Pentacles upright, the Sovereign with the Empress reversed and the Six of Cups reversed issues, or no mother or children at all with them. The Page of Cups star child or message of love to dream, grounding, integrating clarity about the Knight of Wands rushing in and leaving the lover behind at a moment's notice, or affections of kids and family. Where the Pisces, Aquarius upright, Taurus reversed, Sag and Gemini upright here too. Free yourself, past life relationship, stay optimistic, and around the twins are how they're seen as the Six of Cups reversed, or unhappy kids. At 12:36, the Hanging Man and the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, and the Five of Swords war on guard as the wounded warrior surrenders to the Hierophant, marriage, religion, establishment, or Taurus. Or the Chariot or Cancer is healing their heart with Taurus, or kids going away to college, or living with Taurus, or Cancer, or Sagittarius reversed, and the block being Ascension world that's complete, or the cycle's over, with Pisces or Divine Feminine over it, the conflict done, and the Knight of Swords reversed, or Libra holding their tongue. Spiritual partnership and intuition comes up here, but even more so creativity. At 12:41, the Hanging Man and the Ace of Cups of self-love, spiritual love, or new love, and the Five of Wands reversed, no longer spying on lovers, and or the Ten of Cups reversed family. The Queen of Wands is uncomfortable at home with third party, or partiers who are up at all hours, or deceptive, with the wounded warrior reversed in surrender, taking the stairway to heaven to rise above drama with the shadow side of the Queen of Wands, or detoxing them or twin. Can't figure out right there, but it's definitely the Queen of Wands is detoxing herself or twin. Okay. At 12:44, which can be both at the same time. 12 is the Hanging Man, 44 is the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, especially receiving it. Someone might have received someone out of prison too, right? Because that could imprison someone, right? Let's say your child starts going out with someone who went to prison or just got out, and now maybe they went to prison for stealing something or for drugs, and you don't want them in your house. But now maybe your child's getting married to that person. It's like, now what do I do? It could be that kind of energy for parents as well. Sagittarius and Taurus upright, or the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands bored with their marriage or work, or up all night or early morn, and the new moon, April 1st, April Fool's, is in Aries at 11 degrees 30, and that was from Moon Calendar astro-seek.com, and it's at 6:24, which is literally the Queen of Wands, which is 24/6. So Queen of Wands and April Fool's, which would be Aries energy, and the Wounded Warrior reversed, or the Queen of Wands is the Wounded Warrior reversed in surrender, to take steps or ascend or to rise above drama and detox. The Queen of Wands offering passionate growth or a creative offer to the Queen of Pentacles reversed, who may feel rejected or shocked by what she offers. Perhaps the Wounded Warrior has been sitting on the fence too long, and the Dream Girl is offering passion to a man with two lovers, receive the truth from the Queen of Wands in transition, or succumb to the devil, with death or transition of the Emperor reversed and their failure at 12:56, which is the Hanging Man, and being in your knowing or choosing not to know. And then at 53 with the Knight of Swords, wanting to start over after a negative past, with true love or kids, and the Queen of Wands upright with the Wounded Warrior, who's all over this read. And she could definitely be Aries, since that just came up with April Fools. The Divine Masculine coming out with the truth, to or as the Knight of Cups to the Sovereign, about the Six of Cups reversed, past or kids, being strong through the Ring of Fire, with the Knight of Swords reversed, lashing out, perhaps with potty mouth, or verbally abusive here, challenged by the King of Cups, loving and ending pain for the world, or with Pisces, Divine Feminine or Scorpio, or Dark Night transition with the Queen of Wands deception, or with Cancer or in their chart, and the Wounded Warrior surrendering to ascend and rise from the ashes, or from drama, to detox the shadow, or succumb to its power. Or the Knight of Wands is leaving their lover, Queen of Wands, for the one they ignored, or Sagittarius child who's gaining independence won't be told how to live anymore. At 12:59, the Hanging Man and the War Within. The truth of a breakthrough, birthing through the past, or actual twins, some birthed twins, and the Knight of Cups upright and the Knight of Swords reversed, challenged by the King of Cups, unconditional love, and their death and ending, which can be Jesus Christ. Their death and ending, their transition of Dark Night or Scorpio and Leo here, and the Sovereign ending pain or in a painful end, or perhaps getting a massage, as the Six of Cups reversed complete a cycle from the past, with the Queen of Wands transitioning with Cancer reversed, or dealing with Cancer, or surrendering to synchronicities or options or confusion of tangoing with the devil, or detoxing and doing shadow work instead at 102, which is the Magician and the High Priestess. So we have the main cards in the read of major arcana anyway are Aries, Leo, Scorpio, Pisces upright, and then Capricorn, Pisces, Cancer, and Capricorn reversed. And like I said, all the cups were upright. King, Queen, Knight, Page were all upright. And the King, Queen, and Knight are basically all together. And the Page of Cups is not far, also offering love. But the other couples are all apart. Like the King of Pentacles is upright, the Queen is reversed, and they're apart. And both the Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles are both reversed. The King of Wands is reversed with the Queen of Wands upright. They're apart. And the Knight of Wands is upright, but the Page of Wands is reversed. And then in the Swords family, the King and Queen of Swords are upright, but they're not together either. And the Knight of Swords and Page of Swords are both reversed. So it's a lot of like disjointed energy here. So let's see what comes up for you now. I'm going to pull from the Shaman Dreams. Let's see what this deck has for us today. So take another deep breath. What is our takeaway from the read today? It's 1:39 on the dot. That's the Magician and the Knight of Cups. Making magic and being love with a lot of source energy backing it up. All right. what is our takeaway from this read today? Okay. 58, Vanishing Mirror, the Ego Sublimation. So this can be taken a few different ways, right? Because we have the broken mirror there, and some people are very suspicious about that. So are we breaking the mirror because we don't want vanity in our lives anymore? Are we breaking the mirror because of an accident? Are we breaking the mirror because we think it's bad for us, but that's fear? The 58 is the Four of Swords, and again, that's that 5D connection, which is mirroring your twin. So you don't even need a mirror for that, because you can't help it. Not breaking a mirror isn't going to help you disconnect from your twin. So again, this is all about the ego here. And we have the 59 right next to it, the Wailing Tree of Reconciliations. This is me after the movie last night. It was so heart-wrenching. It was such a beautiful movie, but it was so painful. All right, the 58 to the 59 is going from that Four of Swords of connecting in the 5D or taking a rest or a break or meditating. But then, perhaps your meditation takes you into something that causes pain too, right? There's the war within. It brings up the pain to release it. And remember that tears are a purge of energy. When you get overloaded, just like food, you poo and pee. When you're overloaded with energy, you need to get it out of your system, whether it's by sweating, crying, peeing. There needs to be a way to release that energy. And of course, crying is one of those ways. So don't worry about it. This just could be, letting your ego go, right? And again, having to do with family wounding, because it's the tree, reconciliation, and the Wailing Tree. Coming back home again. And again, it's just, mirroring the entire family tree all at once, perhaps taking in a really overwhelming amount of wounds at the same time. Maybe something else will come up with that. And then we have First Breath as well, Beginner's Mind, and that came up with the little worm in the read too, right? So the newbies who get really intimidated by the seasoned ones, maybe if they've never done this kind of work before, whatever it is that they're in, but also the new ones have that fresh frame of mind that the older ones never think of anymore, because they're so used to doing things a certain way. So the new ones give great new perspectives. So remember that. So let's see what else. Okay, just one more. These cards will come up forever. But the bottom of the deck is the mindful groupthink. So this could be a think tank, or some kind of brainstorming session with the 40 of the Page of Cups. Again, the young ones in a brainstorming session, which could be that teacher with their kids, teaching them how to be free thinkers and not be afraid to say the wrong answer, to just speak up and say whatever you want, doesn't matter. And getting them confident in being able to speak their own mind. And then we have the 33 of the Christ vibration again, and the joyful muse of inspiration of that Sandalphon energy of Jesus, right, being that creative, musical, artistic energy as opposed to the warrior energy. And then we also have these two cards coming out after the first three, the Garden of Venus, which is like the Garden of Eden, but also the Garden and the Gate was coming up here, of rest and renewal. And how beautiful it would be to sit in that amount of flower energy, right? With the butterflies and just hanging your own little artistic creations from the trees, having your own magic garden. And then the me talks here, of just taking some time in the bathtub just for you, right? With your creativity here. Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So remember to take time just for you, whether it's sitting in a garden or in a bathtub. Perhaps putting some salt in your tub to cleanse your aura. Okay, so these 5 cards came out about the vanishing mirror and releasing of ego and allowing yourself to cry. That's good. It's just a release of energy. The war within and the connection within, right? 2 different things. But remember, it's the odd and the even that go together. They come in pairs. So if you want that 5D connection, then you have to be willing to purge the ego out to fit more of it in. Okay, and then that first breath of the newbie, being whole and complete just as they are, and not to feel intimidated by saying a wrong answer. The beginner's mind, and how refreshing it is to have a new perspective on an old thing. And again, regarding perhaps making your own secret garden here for rest and renewal, or perhaps a special bath time where you have all your favorite things at bath. And make it fun for yourself, repairing the body, mind, and spirit by not only relaxing but having fun with it as well. And again, what a young energy can bring into that as well, which is why it's so much fun hanging out with young people, because they're always seeing things with fresh eyes, because a lot of things they haven't even seen yet. So again, the think tank, or just that coming together of different ages though. Again, a teacher, I'm definitely getting a teacher in a classroom doing this with the kids. Let's see what the journey of love has for us. And of course the garden is coming up as the Garden of Gethsemane as well. The Garden of Prayer. So Thomas Kincaid could be coming up. Gethsemane. Well done, Judas. Good old Judas. Rolling for the... I believe you can make it. Poor man. So I'm getting the marketplace in Jesus Christ Superstar. Spirit's connecting with me. So the journey of love, why is that coming up? The void. The void is the 40. It's the Page of Cups. That innocent, pure love. That pure place where there's no chaos there. It's very smooth and clear, and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, that could be the inside of a vessel or the womb. And the tomb is the third eye, the woman of light here. So you see the reference in the same kind of energy there. Bathing in the light, really enjoying it, not just for relaxation, but truly enjoying her time in that light. The 49 is the Get Your Wish card of emotional fulfillment. And then the cosmic butterfly of motherhood as well. The cosmic butterfly of transformation, of the Atlas energy of the weight of the world, of how the joy of receiving a child and yet knowing it's the weight of the world and how much responsibility it is, and yet there's so much joy in that. And understanding that if you understand that joy of motherhood, then you understand what love is. And again, to just remember, come back and drop into your heart with that Page of Pentacles energy of learning something new. It's okay. Just drop back into your heart and it's all okay. The bottom of the deck is the 48 of walking away within, of the 8 of Cups. Man of the earth, woman of the sky. And there's a lot of more rough energy in here where all the women are laying their hair down here. And again, the hair standing up on the end is a sign of your connection with your higher self, that high vibration. So they're literally laying all their hair out into the vortex there to connect with the divine masculine here, and they're all doing it together. They're all laying, it's like the man will lay down their lives for the woman is laying down her hair for her man. It's really beautiful, actually. And there's this card again, the 4 moons, which is June 14th, the full moon in June. The purple moon is the 0 point field. It's like they're all laying their hairs down on the line, walking away within, doing their meditations together, group meditations. It's like this is them laying it all on the table, putting all their bets down by laying their hair on the table. And this could be a bunch of women who are chopping all their hair off for locks of love. Actually, my daughter did that when she was younger. That could be what a group of women are doing for children, maybe who are having cancer or things like that, where they don't have any hair right now. They could be doing that for a man too who's going through chemo, or just a man who's balding, who's very self-conscious about it. So here we have the energies. They're very different today in a certain way, but yet the same at the same time. That very pure energy of the void, of the pure innocent love, and then the woman of light, totally mature and self-satisfied, learning how to be happy with self and truly enjoy every moment in that light. And then the energy of motherhood and the cosmic butterfly of transformation, and the Atlas with the weight of the world with a 36 here, of what the weight of the world is, what it is to be a mother and a child. And then the 68 of that Page of Pentacles, of remembering when you feel, you know, naive again and you're just starting out and trying to manifest something, to just drop back into your heart, that it's all okay. And this can literally represent too, after the women is the child coming in to the women's group here. Okay, so let's see. The first card here is the 40. There's that other one. Nope. Okay, number 40. It opened right up to the void. At the end of every cycle and at the beginning of every cycle, there's a moment of transition. It may last for any amount of time, a moment of feeling or many years of deep inner work, whilst feeling displaced. The transition may require patience to endure the absence of knowing, the lack of certainty about who you are and why you're here on this planet. A void may open up between one moment of meeting with your lover and the seemingly endless stretch of time, even if it's only days that seem as though they are eternal in duration as you wait to reconnect again. Yet if you can accept that entry into the cosmic void as preparation for your next cycle of manifestation, if you can accept that darkness is holding you with love, not with unfeelingness, then you can relax and let the preparation be what it must. Then you can be well equipped for the next steps forward on your glorious divine adventure this lifetime, meeting the beloved, whether divine or human lover, in a fresh new moment, excited, open, and curious always. This oracle brings you guidance. There are parts of your own process unfolding that you simply cannot know about yet. It will not always be this way, but for now, it's most helpful for you to not only deal with what is immediately before you, all else will be shown when the time is right. There is growing to be done, and then the void will bring forth the next step on your path to meet you. You do not have to worry, and you don't have to search. Be present, be patient, and when you can do something, do it. When you can't, just be. Your time will soon come. If you're holding a question about relationship, surrender it to the void and let it become what it must be according to spiritual wisdom and love. And the poem simply states, a coming together, a blending of one, where understanding spans the space between and separation disappears to form anew. Remember, water, water, water. Get your rest so they have plenty of time to do your upgrades, your joy in your nature. Rise and be loved.